So where are we going to go today? That's the real question. Once again, Coastline is out of the picture because every single team that is currently competing in our 4 matchups today, one of those 2 teams played it. We so far have seen both Clubhouse and Oregon. Where are we going to go? Well, it's back to Clubhouse. So this will be interesting, and it will likely aid Secret, who start on defense.
Yeah, and for NaVi, man, that's tough. We talked about the first game being extremely defender-sided. We have yet to see if we're going to have a double hard breach ban again on Clubhouse. But for NaVi, just momentum-wise and mindset-wise, that's got to be tough. You're on the brink of being auto-relegated 1 week prior to the last week of play. The next week's game wouldn't even matter for them. It's difficult as well, knowing that most likely you will be on your back foot and you can't make any mistakes in the second half of the game, just the way that Clubhouse plays out.
Yeah. You have to really bring the fire to Secret to start off with, because depending on what happens with those bans, as you said, it's unlikely we'll see a double hard breach ban, but who really knows? I would have said that it was unlikely prior to the Lestream Empire matchup, but a lot of credit needs to go to Lestream for banning out the Thermite and being able to abuse that against Empire, and Empire just looked listless on their attacks because of it. Now, both of these teams have a very confident apparatus around them, in terms of coaching staff, in terms of analysts, so on and so forth. So you have to imagine that they have prepped really well for this matchup. For NaVi in particular, you really better hope that they've prepped well for this matchup, because it's literally do or die for them. A victory here for Team Secret seals NaVi's fate as the team that will be moved down to Challenger League in Europe. Now, even if you finish in 7th place, which currently Secret is, you don't really have an easier deal with the teams that come out of Challenger League, because right now EU Challenger League, I think, is indisputably the strongest Challenger League region, and there's a couple teams down there that look like they could fit in quite well in not just EU Pro League, but in any region across the globe.
Take a look at the community vote between NaVi and Secret, and it's always fun to see community votes with these teams in play, but now that they play with each other, hey, it's a little more even. 62%, though, still leaning on the side of Secret. NaVi, of course, being in the 8th spot, about to be, well, they could be auto-relegated. Obviously, some understanding as to why. Maybe the faith isn't quite there, but you never really know how good of a team you are until you have to play with your backs against the wall. And that's the situation that NaVi find themselves in, pure desperation mode, just to keep themselves alive. And it comes down to this game right now and their game next week.
For Secret, I think the big focus needs to be on Leon Gids. If he can be managed and contained by NaVi, then Secret's chances of winning really get hurt. And that's the thing. Leon Gids is an exceptionally talented player who is capable of absolutely consuming a game and just running over the defense or the attackers in whichever role you find him on. Just ask G2 how that's happened before. But if you can effectively keep him from being a factor in your matchups, then it bodes well for the other team. On NaVi's side of things, they've got some pretty good gunners too. Cryan made a splash jumping onto this roster a couple months back. Corey has quite a bit of prowess as well. But ultimately, I have to give the edge to Secret in regards to their potential. The upside on Secret might be higher heading into this match. You mentioned, Rob, that we hadn't seen a Capitao ban just yet, and what would you look at that? Secret, who have called him scary, are going to remove him from play.
Not very shocking. We saw just the effect that he's had so far with his change already today through 3 games. Saw it a little bit less in Latin America, which I thought was surprising, but given he only had 24 hours really to test out the new operator. Now that EU, with being played on Friday and the update being on Tuesday, you've had a few days to try and tinker with a few things. We will have one hard breacher ban, though, in response to that. It'll be a Maverick and a Mira being taken out by NaVi, and Secret will round things out with a very quick ban. I imagine onto Echo? Yeah. So, Echo will round out the last defender ban, and that leaves us with a pretty standard ban set, just the Capitao really being the alteration to the norm.
Unsurprisingly, we've seen Mira banned in every single match today. That goes with her 77% ban rating that she had heading into today as well.
That's not going to take a hit at all.
No, not one bit. We will see a Kaid in play, though. He was absent in the Empire Lestream matchup. I think that was a good ban ultimately from Lestream too, to take Kaid out, which would mean that your Hibanas wouldn't have to worry too much, and you can play very differently knowing that you can Kaid the hatches and force where the Hibana can go. But you'll see that on NaVi's side, you can run both of your hard breachers, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're not going to waste any time to bring out the Thermite and the Hibana. But the 6th pick for them will go to a Buck. You'll have a Valkyrie on the other side of the equation being the 6th pick off of the Maestro. You bring one information gatherer for another. But this is a little interesting. Gym is not typically the site that you want to see teams or teams want to play on. As a caster, you want to see it because it's often unpredictable and is a pretty good showing. And Secret's going to waste no time to go there and start on the site that usually teams on defense don't want to go to because they're more likely to lose.
Yeah, it's typically your tertiary bomb site if it ever comes out. If you're having a weaker day on defense on Clubhouse, sometimes you won't ever end up there. Sometimes you're going back and forth on your Arsenal and your CCTV holds. We're going to start things off with the 3rd most played defensive site. A bullet hole spawn peek coming up from Meepy through a wooden barricade towards main gate. It doesn't appear that anyone from NaVi has spawned there. No. So they'll be safe. You got 4 members all spawning by shipping docks, just outside a strip club, looking to move their way over to Jacuzzi Wall. I imagine this will be a surprise for NaVi. They would have been able to deal with it inside of prep phase, though, as in the drone phase, as they were able to identify where the location of the objective was and make changes in comms, although that EMP did not get the Electro Claw. And everyone's a little confused, including me, as it's placed on the ground in the hallway behind that deployable shield instead of directly on the wall. So a misplaced EMP there. Lems will take 50 damage, though, as Cryan's impact from the lifeline will remove that deployable shield, and now the wall gets opened up anyway.
Leon Gid starting things off by taking out Cryan, and now Rips falls as well. And this is the aggression from Secret that we've seen on a variety of different maps where they're capable of just shutting down your push as you go on in. It actually looked like we'd say the same from Stiz. As the smoke looked like he was going to jump on out. Meepy will pull the trigger and miss. Actually, every single one of his shots. Onto the buck of Corey, whose frag grenade will find a home and do a little bit of damage to Meepy, but ultimately not that much. You might have just been a visual glitch on the Electro Claw because it still shows that it's electrified, but you're able to still get through. So maybe not as much of a confusing state of affairs as we had possibly anticipated there. Free passage.
Oh, it's up at the top.
Look at that. There you go.
So I guess he threw it later. He picked it up, allowed the breach to come off, and then threw another Electro. Oh no, there's one Electro Claw and then there's one on the, or a Bandit battery on the bathroom wall.
You've got the double breach denial, right, in both Kaid as well as Bandit, so. But Secret have largely fallen off now. So you expect that with Gym and Bedroom, there's going to be a push over into Cash, and it'll be Corey over there, just absolutely shutting Leon Gid's down. That'll be the end of that transaction, and allow the Buck, who took quite a bit of damage, to continue to walk on in if need be, but it's also taken a very important part of the defense away from Secret. So Leon Gid's shut down. But you've still got enough manpower on Secret over on the site. 40 seconds, too, as Navi will take control of construction and also into office and begin their assault on the site.
Gotta be very worried for Meepy to peek out with that TCSG-12. The DMR shotgun with an ACOG. There's a flank coming out from Fonkers now up Cash stairs. He's gonna have to time this perfectly, but laying in wait now. It seems to be Lazo spraying into the back, and Lazo and Corey will both collect kills onto Meepy and Stiz, leaving just a Lems and Fonkers left alive. A man advantage turned disadvantage as flashbangs ring out and disorient the member placed inside a bathroom. The pings will come out. Fonkers eliminated. It's just a Lems alive inside of the bathroom and cut down once again. Corey putting an ending to that round with Defiance, as that's Navi taking a round they probably should have given the objective. They lost 2 members early and had to work their way out of a 3v5. Excellent resiliency there from Navi.
Did they just get too clamped down on the site, do you think, with how fast they lost logistics office and then construction too? Once Leon Gids fell on red, it looked like most of Secret just retreated. And very similar to what we see from Laundry Supply Room downstairs, typically teams don't want to stack up every single body on the site. Usually if you're going to defend the 2 sites of Gym and Bedroom, you're going to have somebody inside of the bathroom, usually with a deployable shield. Could possibly be an Echo, could be a Maestro, could even be a Bandit. In this case, with, Echo being banned, you could have had a Maestro in there, but no. I wonder if it was just simply Secret putting too many bodies on site and not really having much to deal with the remaining members of Navi, and they took a couple fights that they lost. And once you lose 2 fights, that advantage swings quite heavily and forces the remaining members on site to be a bit more aggressive, knowing that they're already at a disadvantage. They can just get swamped when the attackers push on in.
That kill onto Leon had a massive effect. Corey with a beautiful round entirely on the Buck. if Leon is allowed to survive inside of Cash and just stall out for, what, 20 more seconds, 30, he doesn't even have to get a kill at that point. You can still have it in a 4v3 with allowing the time for Fonkers to go for the flank around on the Valkyrie. They've switched up roles entirely here now. Meepy picking up the Valk and Fonkers to the Jaeger, Leon to the Mute. So massive role changes already in round number 2 here for Secret. But last round, if Leon's allowed to just survive, just stall out some more time inside of Cash, man, that's an entirely different round for NaVi, because then it turns into panic mode. They don't have time to set up in logistics. They don't have time to lay and wait for a flank inside of construction. They just need to go. And if you don't have that time to wait for the flank, Fonkers probably walks in and grabs a 2-piece. You probably alleviate a lot of the pressure on a Lems waiting in the bathroom. That's an entirely different round if Leon isn't taken out in a heartbeat by Corey.
Now, there's tools on Navi's side to be able to take out the Mute Jammers as well as the Breach Denial that's going to come in the hands of a Lems on that Bandit. And Kaid being brought out. So with Secret, their flexibility is still going to be there on this site. I'm a little surprised that they're not running any ACOG operator to hold Garage. They might not actually be holding Garage. It looks like they have one body up there. It's likely going to be the Jaeger, based on where you usually see the 416 play, and indeed that's exactly where Fonkers is going to be. So the Jaeger is inside of the Garage, but NaVi is going for what appears to be a full-throttled construction take. Nobody is really trying to use their influence on NaVi into the Garage, which means that at least you allow Fonkers to play a position on that window and maybe catch somebody if that CCTV wall gets opened up. It's going to be the main focus for NaVi as they move on forward, as you saw the utility dump from Cryan go in, just to maybe try and dislodge a Lems on that wall, and it's been successful. The exothermic charges opened up half of the CCTV wall, allowing Lazo to just sit there. Still has one round of X-Kairos left if he wants to use it on any variety of walls, but for the time being, his utility is not what's going to be important. It's going to be that hard-held angle, which will essentially shut down Fonkers, as Fonkers is pushed by the fact that NaVi is now coming for the Garage stairs. It's going to get really dangerous for the member of Secret who's just sitting up top. He's wasting a lot of time in the process, and though he may die, his contributions could possibly save the rest of his team quite a bit of a headache when NaVi starts to push.
Looks like they're inching in towards it now. Meepy will grab one from down below inside of Lounge Stairs, but Lazo in the immediate trade up to Fonkers inside of the Rafters. You now have a 2-man stack looking to push in through the Garage door to grab that Rafters control. Oh, laying prone. Meepy nails another shot onto Cryan as he ducks under it the first time, but walks straight into the crosshairs of Meepy. So the Valkyrie collecting 2 in the round. Rips will now have to push up and try and acquire these Rafters control. Corey's taking a little bit of damage as well as shots ring out in the myriad of pings from those Valkyrie cameras. Clearly, limitless intel here for Team Secret on the defensive stand as they look to hold out. You still have Stiz with all 3 Toxic Babes remaining. You've got Nitro Cell in the back pocket of Meepy as well. Leon taking a contestation downstairs inside of Lounge, and he's going to go 2 for 2. There goes Corey, and he's going to be able to flank up the Cash Laundry stairs. You've got a Nitro Cell coming out now, and another one shut down as Lazo will fall. Meepy with 4 on the round. Unbelievable for Team Secret on the flanking job, and NaVi stalling out time and time again, pushing into Garage.
Once you got Garage control, NaVi seemed to stop, because very similar to what happened in the Empire Lestream game was you can only really attack from one direction. You can only really go from the Garage. You can only really go from the CCTV wall. You don't have anything really utility-wise to assist you in that regard. You just need to basically rush into the site and hope that you can take down the remaining defenders, because a straight-up fight is what happens when you're deprived of utility, as NaVi was at that point. But the problem was that NaVi was consistently being spotted by the Valkyrie cameras, and you could see that they did not want to push when that information was in hand for Secret. One thing that you have to give credit to Meepy for is not just those Valkyrie cameras, but also the way that he's been changed in terms of roles on the team. When Secret was preparing for the UK Premiership just a couple weeks ago, Meepy was moved onto more of an aggressive role, and despite the fact that Secret was unsuccessful in winning the UK Premiership, it was actually M&M, who are currently in Challenger League, who ended up taking the victory. Meepy was credited with the fact that he was able to go back onto roles where he could support the team but also add to the scoreboard. It was something he talked about on social media afterwards, saying that it's nice to be in a position where he can kind of quell the doubters who thought that Meepy was a little bit too slow, and who's honestly, Meepy whose stats were very poor in the first half of this season. So not only does he have a mammoth round picking up those 4 kills, but was also allowing the rest of his team to play with information based on the Valkyrie cameras, and it really tripped up NaVi. It was too uniform of a push for NaVi, and I think that's what ended up causing them so much heartburn and anxiety.
Curious decision here from Team Secret as they were unsuccessful on their defense in Gym Bedroom the first time around. They had a hefty man advantage, but ultimately lost in the dire moments to NaVi. They win CCTV. Your most logical progression from there is, hey, let's head downstairs. Let's get 2 rounds in a row. Really feel like it. Then we can head back to Gym Bedroom where we can try something different if we want to go bar stock. But, you know, we're going back to Gym Bedroom here for Team Secret, and it seems like NaVi have a much better read on this time. Not trying to send all of their utility in towards the jacuzzi wall and then toil on the master balcony, going for a far side cash clear, but Leon is going to poke out and take down Corey. His nemesis clearly in the last 3 rounds. Chaos on a trade though, as Lazo was also wholly unsuccessful in landing a lot of those bearing 9 shots. You've got Cryan watching for flanks down below on the cash stairs, and oh, another good read from NaVi, knowing there would be a member coming from the cash stairs from Blue. Fonkers will fall. Another one for Lems at the top of Blue stairs, and it's pandemonium for Secret as they just try to survive, but another one drops. Lazo collecting onto Lems. Meepy and Stiz, the last 2 members. Last time around, it was much better support from the rest of Team Secret, but this time NaVi in the driver's seat.
This is what happens when you play as aggressively off-site as you do and you don't have the necessary support. And just as the dominoes started to fall for Secret, you just end up getting weighted down by the next domino falling on top of you, right? So with Secret, it was a pretty decent amount of coverage. Fonkers probably should have won that gunfight, if we're being completely honest, downstairs, but he was largely screwed out of a kill that he should have had. And that could have changed a big part of the tempo of this round. Because not only do you get the kill, but then you don't allow Cryan to push on up to the bandit that was playing on the stairs, and Meepy's now going to be in a position where he just has to go for the kills. This is tough. You have an SMG-11 in the hands of Stiz, who's now got a very limited magazine. He's going to run out, window prepped, but it doesn't matter how many bullets you have if you're looking the wrong way, and Rips was there to greet him, just waiting, understanding that there was somebody likely playing inside a gym, and that's all she wrote. Really boiling down to the fact that NaVi read into the fights that Secret were willing to take very well. Leon Gids exposing himself behind the wall, pushing into CCTV. He gets a big kill on Corey, but there's 2 bodies from NaVi who are watching that, both Lazo and KS on the dual hard breachers. And even though it looked like Lazo might have fallen with that 416 taking a huge portion of Lazo's HP away, KS was there. They walked in. They could continue to push over into cash because, you know, you saw the bandit that was playing on the top of red stairs wasn't in a position to possibly watch somebody pushing in through that opened hole from the thermite charge. Cryan takes out Fonkers downstairs, immediately moves up. There's 2 bodies looking at the bandit. He gets droned out. He gets pushed. And now you've essentially cleared out 3 bodies off-site. And with a heavy investment like that, you have to realize that Secret's goal is kill a minute and a half on cash CCTV, possibly pick up 1 or 2 kills at best. If not, you still die, maybe 2 bodies go down. In a 3v5, that's a lot more winnable when the time is in your side as a defender. Problem being with not only all the bodies falling from Secret, it was the fact that there was 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go in a 2v5. Very difficult circumstances on Gym Bedroom to find yourself able to win from.
Reloading ammo.
Well, Meepy back on the Kaid roll from his Gym Bedroom defensive position, and he'll be looking to Kaid the hatches. You've also opened up possibilities for impact tricking the kitchen hatch, which is pretty standard these days. Looks like Leon was, or sorry, not Leon, Lems was top of blue stairs. You also got Fonkers up in the rafters and garage. There's a lot of control elsewhere than the objective right now, and Fonkers will actually collect a kill onto Cryan, so the Zofia to fall early, and Fonkers angling in for 2. Still got Corey repelled just outside of the square balcony window, and he'll take that through the balcony wall. Got Fonkers to fall. There's one of your nitro cells, and the only one at the disposal of the defensive Team Secret. This roam here from Secret, you still have 2 outside of the objective right now. You've got Leon and you've got a Lems. Leon will be droned out now inside of bars. He looks to make his great escape back towards the main stairs. And Lems was in a pretty easy position to pivot back down with, just being at the top of the blue stairs. So for NaVi, you lose your Zofia. There's no Maestro on the boards. There's no Evil Eyes. You don't have to worry too much about that. You lose the stun canisters. So, at worst, you lose the ability to burn some ADSs, clear out some barbed wire at range, open up a few kill holes on the floor, but you have Corey for kill holes. You've got Corey with nades. you're still looking pretty good here if you're NaVi, especially being able to take down Fonkers with that Nitro Cell.
You'd imagine that they would probably put Crine at one of the hatches, likely either Blue Hatch or Moto Hatch, and just have him utility dump on down, possibly be able to lock somebody in place. A good target would be Meepy playing at the back by the boxes. If you have the Zofia concussions go down, then that basically rules out Meepy, who with his loadout on the DMR and that 44 caliber gun, that almost Han Solo-esque pistol, well, he's not going to be anywhere near as effective if he's concussed. You're also not going to be very effective if you try to bait out a frag grenade, as Corey would do. And what ends up happening is, well, Lems just destroys him through the floorboards. A very common position. Also, Lazo losing almost all, if not all of his X-Kairos as they hit KS. NaVi making a lot of mistakes. Meepy punishes Lazo, and all those issues that were created by NaVi are now coming back to haunt them. With only 45 seconds, Thermite's going to try to peek ever so slowly around the corner. He'll win the fight. Meepy not really having a gun that can bounce back after one missed shot. So it's a winnable situation, but a good cross-body shot from Leon to take out KS. And Rips will examine one of many punch holes inside of Church. But his position is going to be held in a crossfire that Leon Gids has all the information, and he'll hit a goo mine, and it's a Lems as well as Leon, both in position to get that final kill. But it's a Lems there. Beautifully. Well done.
They're sitting on one another to try and collect that final kill, and hey, it's a race to see who can hit Mouse 1 first. And it turns out to be a Lems locked onto the head, and that was a round that started off well for NaVi. That just kind of turned into mistake after mistake after mistake, and Secret capitalizing. The impact trick still successful, and honestly, that impact trick doesn't happen onto the second exothermic charge if those X-Kairos land. Because if you can open up those bottom feed holes where the impact nade can't reach with that splash damage when it hits the ceiling, then you have an angle to look in behind the bar. You also have an angle for someone inside of Moto to look in to your double church door from the hallway. So that impact trick not really going to be all that successful if those X-Kairos don't hit KS square in the shins. But after that, I mean, it's another mistake from Corey exposing himself to those holes, and a brilliant take there from Lems as well to peek up through those tiny kill holes in the floor. Corey was trying to utilize them himself, just couldn't find the kill, and Lems was able to. Kind of snowballed there for NaVi, so we equalize at a 2-2. We head back to CCTV and cash for Secret.
I'm actually kind of surprised that Corey put himself in that position, because time and time again, we've seen teams have somebody sit under it and just watch it, whether it be for a possible impact grenade thrown up to destroy the hard destruction on the hatch, or just simply wait and take a fight there. It comes to mind a number of different matchups where somebody has tried to either drop a frag grenade or possibly watch from below, and they've died. You know, I know what Corey was trying to do was that if you drop a frag grenade right as a hard destructive tool is being used on that hatch, then you can likely kill the Legion or a Smoke or a Castle or whatever is playing below with impact grenades. But Corey just stood there a little too long, and he wore out his welcome. So, Secret win the Church. They won cash as well upstairs, but, well, would you look at that? They're going to go back upstairs to the cash CCTV site. Last time around, what happened with NaVi was that they just stacked up too much inside of Garage. They didn't have enough of a push on construction, as teams do when they run out of numbers. And then Meepy ended up stealing the show. He's going to be back on that old familiar role of Valkyrie. So if I'm NaVi, my biggest focus is finding those Valkyrie cameras, because they were your undoing. Not only giving information to the rest of the team, but also causing so much chaos and confusion and uncertainty in the hands of NaVi. Now, this is something that you've seen a couple times. Not putting himself in a position where he could have been immobile for a second there, shooting his own bandit battery. Lems is going to go back, but he's going to get stunned, possibly stunned a second time, and Secret will completely concede that CCTV wall. So successful hard destruction, once again seeing Fonkers upstairs as well in Garage, and this looks like more of the same for Secret for the time being.
Fonker's taking about 50 HP, but the wall does eventually get opened up here. KS is going to have to rotate over to the garage panels now, try and open those up. Your typical progression for Clubhouse. We haven't seen those early deaths for NaVi yet, which is a good sign, and Fonkers has already taken half of his life away from him inside of the rafters, and that's that pivot position. Last time around, it was Meepy and Fonkers tangoing, and there goes Leon running out the front door. Corey missing the objective. There goes your Thermite. You won't be able to open up those bottom garage panels now. That's a playground for Meepy to work with downstairs inside a lounge. And for this setup here for Secret, at this point, it's stall factor. It's stay alive for as long as possible. Fonkers, though, will get down by the impacts of Cryan. He sends those up on the lifeline. Could be a good bait in here as we're still unaware where Meepy is downstairs. He's down all the way inside of Oil Pit. So if someone does try to rush upstairs and collect this kill, Meepy is in a good position to lock it down.
The drone's likely sailed on by, and Fonkers will be finished off. NaVi can assume that they have garage control and might do so to their peril. Cryan walks in, but he's very apprehensive and wary of somebody's position, maybe being nearby. Hits onto the barbed wire, will give his position away, but Cryan is looking in a completely different location. Such great patience from Meepy. He's going to rely a lot on Alems and Stiz, but there goes Stiz onto Cryan. So you lose one body. Alems cuts down Corey. 5 seconds left. Time to go. Nobody has the diffuser. Lazo does. There you go. He's in sight going for the plant. Finishes off Alems. And it's all going to be up to Meepy, who spent a little bit too much time missing the C4. Oh, no. And incorrect marks as his position will be given away. He's downstairs in lounge. This is something that NaVi will be well aware of. No avenues for Secret's Meepy to be able to get back into the site. Where's he going to go? Is it Claymore outside? See if anybody's playing out there. Nope. Nobody at all. As for NaVi, they're just going to sit and wait. Meepy will ascend up the stairs. He's got Rips playing, but the default cam is still up. Rips' position has been given away. Meepy knows he's there, but he can't shoot through that side of the reinforced wall. They know that Meepy's playing, and even though we see that Rips has the information, it'll be Meepy to get it. Lazo's there to shut it down. Very routine for NaVi, great patience. Not a lot of tension there that you really needed to worry about if you're a fan of NaVi. In the dying seconds, you can thank Lazo from walking in and being able to get that diffuser down after finishing off Alems himself, really taking matters into his own hands. Very similar to what we saw from the start of that Mouse Penta matchup in match 2. These teams are just unable to shake each other. They have won one, then traded back and forth. No team has won any consecutive rounds. With Church being locked for the remainder of this defense, it'll be Secret going back to CCTV and Cash Room. Not really a surprise, as Jim was wholly unsuccessful twice for Secret on their defense. They took a gamble on it. It didn't work either time. You might as well gamble on a site that, well, you won once, you lost once. It's a better record than 0-2.
CCTV for this defense here went pretty swimmingly for the first half last time around for Secret. You know, you were able to kill off KS with a rush at the front door. And at that point, I mean, you had garage control. Fonkers getting down, though, inside of rafters, though. That's really what allowed... That was the hole that NaVi were able to push through. Funker still has control up inside of the rafters, and it's an entirely different story. And the stall-out factor just amplifies from there. But unfortunately, all NaVi really needed was one hole to push in through. Exactly what they did. They took it and they ran with it up through the rafters and overwhelmed the objective. Comes down to gunfights at that point, and NaVi were ready and able to take control of Cash and CC. Unfortunate as well, the marks come out. I imagine as a camera was getting shot. Not really sure what the progression was there down to the exact millisecond, but pings were coming out onto members inside of the site. Just unfortunate that the call came out that the wrong person was planting or that Meepy jumped the gun with the nitro. Again, not sure what happened there because it's communication based at that point. It's up to the team to relay to the remaining member, hey, this person, this little red pig has the diffuser, go kill him.
I think that Meepy was more wary of pushing out of what was affectionately referred to as Adam's spot for the longest time until they decided to add a staircase to it and take Adam's spot away from him.
Yes.
But I think Meepy was really wary of somebody sitting on red stairs and watching him, which is why he pushed out quickly and then threw the C4 and pulled back. Unfortunately, after the changes to the trajectory of heavier throwables, such as a C4, then you can't really hit the ceiling with the same effect. In fact, it looked like the C4 actually arced a little bit too much, fell short. Had Meepy been further inside of Lounge, that round would have gone a completely different way. Because he did aim at the correct mark, but then ended up firing at the second, not being aware of where the actual diffuse planter was going down, which falls into communication, as you noted.
You still got Meepy running around downstairs, but you also had, it looked like Leon on a roam over towards pool table window. Yeah, it's Leon. He's in the bar right now. He could head pool table window and take down Corey, the flank watch outside of front door. Leon, though, going to head over to Master. Another good flank here is NaVi have incorporated a construction element into their push multiple times now. Same kind of setup on the wall this time. He's got Chaos blowing up on the left side, and you've got Lazo dealing with the right side with some X-Kairos. The real worry here is, again, that someone is going to be, downstairs and ready and waiting. There goes Leon. Didn't expect Corey to anticipate that kind of flank coming out from the gym hallway, but a good read nonetheless. There goes Leon. It's up to Meepy now on the roaming potential.
That's an incredible shot.
That is.
Absolutely incredible shot there, too. And as long as you can manage Leon, as we said, Secret's chances go down quite drastically. Meepy has been able to carry one round, but that's really been it. As for the rest of Team Secret, there hasn't been a lot of offensive prowess here. Even though they're on defense, and even though we said that it would very likely give them an advantage, just on the way that Clubhouse tends to play out. So expect big things from Fonkers and Meepy on this round, as Alems and Stiz will likely just hold down the site, but Corey will continue. Second kill as he takes out Meepy, and this is looking really good for NaVi. Stiz speaks up, takes out Lazo. That's the defuse plant also that will be felled, but Stiz is not going to be around that much longer. Rips will find him. And as NaVi continues on this demolition of Secret, you see both bodies from Secret downstairs. Neither on the site. Corey will find his third, though Fonkers will shut him down. And it's 3 bodies that Fonkers will need to find. Cryan will hold the red stairs retreat, so Fonkers will not be able to get back to site effectively, but it'll be cut down from KS. Really good coordination from NaVi that we are seeing. And right now, Secret just look miserable on these defenses. The good news for them is that will be their very final defense. They will now go on to attack. But if the defense have an inherent advantage here on Clubhouse, then NaVi, who go into the second half with a 4-2 lead, should be able to ride high over the next couple rounds. They'll start on Church downstairs, and as we reflect upon that first half, NaVi correcting their mistakes on cache CCTV after losing it the first time ended up being the big difference in rounds 5 and 6 to put Secret away in that first half.
Also, just the minuscule timing effects that defending Gym Bedroom had for Secret. There were plenty of instances in which Secret, came within a hair of turning the tide on their Gym Bedroom defenses, and it ultimately kind of bit them, as well as starting with their Gym Bedroom defense. That first round really stands out to me as a round that Secret really should have walked away with, and yet it was, again, intrepid fight back from NaVi. And that intrepidness will give them a 4-2 advantage heading into the half. Going to their defenses here after coming away with 4 rounds in the attack, you're in a very strong position on Clubhouse. We've talked about it time before and time again, but Clubhouse is one of those maps that you really got to shake up the mold if you're going to start winning some attacking rounds, or your opponent's got to kind of throw a bit. And in that one, it looked like Secret were just having a tough time holding down the objective. Their roaming play was fine, but once it came down to that site execute, NaVi had their book read. Lazo is going to be prepping a nitro cell inside of Lounge. I guess that's right beside, that is right beside the CCTV exterior wall that is left unreinforced currently. So you're waiting for someone to entry in. This just could be good VOD work, running back and seeing, hey, maybe Leon, considering he's the buck, on Secret, loves to head over to that CCTV wall, bucket open, and walk right in, and that's his entry into the map. That's his path he takes every time, because it's close to a drone or something.
I mean, it's very easy to read out those pre-placed C4s as well. We have seen teams do them, though, under the main stairs on that first floor. People will go over there and maybe a buck or a sledge or a jackal will try to do some soft destruction and get blown to smithereens, but it's not really commonplace at all, right? So Leon Gids walking on in, knowing that there's an alibi on the board, will find one of those decoys, and he's got full access to the western side of the second floor. He's also got Fonkers below him. Well, would you look at that? They would be in the position where that pre-placed C4 would have been.
I think it's still there. I thought I heard it on Fonkers' POV while he walked underneath it. And it's gone now, nonetheless. And that's actually Cryan taking out the kill onto Leon. There goes the buck. That was upstairs. You still got to return to aggression downstairs. Fonkers still walking away with his life somehow. And you got Rips and Cryan still upstairs in this cache hold. Finally, Fonkers torn to pieces. And this push from Secret, very disjointed. It's not resulting in anything. NaVi will pile on with Rips taking down another one. Meepy will fall. 2 left alive. Constant pings from the alibi Prismas as he'll have to bail out the CCTV window. Rips will in turn bail, but Cryan looking to stand and fight. 3 on the round, and that's Stiz finally putting his run to an end, but it's an effective 1v5 he has to work out of. He's got 1. 4 left to identify. It's not really going to go all that well.
You've got 1 exothermic charge, but you've got Corey crouched and watching. It doesn't matter how much utility you're bringing to the board, as you can't even get close to the site. It's Corey to shut that run down, and NaVi will take their 3rd in a row. remarked after the 5th round how it didn't seem like either of these teams were really able to get ground on one another, and it's been broken open. Right now, NaVi is on an absolute tear. They'll take their very first defense. Things will get tougher, though, as CCTV Cache or Gym Bedroom don't tend to be as favorable for defenders as the church site downstairs. Also, very much depends on the bans on the board. It'll be a Gym Bedroom hold after it looked like it might be Cache and CCTV. So NaVi possibly risking a Gym Bedroom to then win it on a better site. There's some mental one-upsmanship that happens on these sorts of things, but we as casters get the benefit of looking back and saying, wow, that was not a particularly good idea. They should have just gone to CCTV and Cache, and then even if you lose Gym Bedroom, well, you go back downstairs to church, you know? Not going to be the case. So what does NaVi bring into the table on this defense? Well, you're going to likely bring a castle and a deployable shield because that's the best way to successfully bandit trick the jacuzzi wall. It's going to be Corey who's going to be tasked with keeping that wall up as long as possible, providing that NaVi decides to actively trick it. Some teams have decided to bail off of tricking the jacuzzi wall and instead focus on the bathroom walls. A lot of times that hinges upon a Mira being available. Given that it's EU, very rare that you'll see a Mira make it through the ban phase intact, and in this matchup, lo and behold, NaVi has removed her from the equation. Given that it was NaVi that banned her, I'd imagine that if they are going to defend the bathroom, all of this being a moot point if they choose not to, but if they do decide to defend the bathroom aggressively, bandit tricking it, they have a strategy involved without a Mira window in it. Nonetheless, given that it's Gym and Bedroom, you're going to see quite a focus on the Cache side. That's exactly where Rips is standing, a full fortification on all of the walls, and possibly some castle barricades that might be able to slow down any advance from the attackers. Bandit batteries going down in the Cache side, 2 leading into CCTV, and it really appears that NaVi are going to go all in on holding Secret off as much as possible over on the CCTV and Cache walls. You'll lose the CCTV wall to an exothermic charge, or even possibly a breaching round. That sounded like a breaching round, and Secret are now able to walk on in. They also have control of Garage, so their next obstacle is going to be push out those bandit batteries and push anybody from Secret playing inside, or NaVi playing inside of Cache.
Casual, last time in the push coming up from Secret was the difference maker in that round. You had 2 members of NaVi topside with really barely any reinforcements. This time around, a full complement of reinforcements utilized on every conceivable Cache wall. We've also got Leon going down below this time to try and isolate and pick apart these members, the defenders, perched up on top of the island and the table now. It'll force Rips to bail out as the X-Kairos detonate successfully. Not sure if that was an impact nade. No, it looks like it was a frag grenade sent up from Leon from down below that detonated just shy of collecting the life of Corey. Lots of shots back and forth, but honestly not a lot landing. Cryin will look way worse for wear now as Leon's finally able to collect that kill onto the Jaeger. We're midway through the round though, and finally this Cache hold starting to fall. One by one, all of NaVi's members continue to bail out and get cut off. Peeks again from Rips, and Laza with protection duty from inside of Logistics will take down Stiz at the connector window. It's battling back time here for NaVi as they look to lock this out and guarantee themselves a point, but they're at the man disadvantage to do so.
Maybe still hasn't been able to get inside of Cache, and you've got Leon downstairs as well, so 2 members of Secret at best will be knocking on the walls leading into the actual site. Knowing that you've likely got construction under lock and key, the rest of Secret will try to drone it out and give Leon a better, I guess, understanding of whether he can push up the main stairs and whether the defenders are consolidating over by Logistics office or even the main stairs and jacuzzi side. It's very likely that there's going to be somebody playing over by the bathroom, but repelled upside down is Fonkers. Lazo not understanding the Spider-Man-like plays. And there's Leon Gids to shut down Rips as he walks into sight. Chaos is going to be the one to try and hold all of Secret off, but he won't be able to get too far. You say goodbye to Leon Gids, but Alems is there to make sure that Secret are still in this fight. I think you could say Secret fighting, I suppose. NaVi are still 1 round away from match point, providing that they are able to take any of these, but the Gym and Bedroom gambit does not work out. As we had suspected, they still have the CCTV and Cache, a site that a lot of teams prefer to go to as a fallback. And if all else fails, they still have Church on the very next defense too.
Back to CC, and in that round there, the Cache push from Secret, much more profitable at the end of the day. You aren't losing as many members on the push. You're only losing 1, actually. And you're able to actually identify and lock down those members of the defense for NaVi that were inside of Cache. Last time around, it was Cryin on the Alibi that took every fight imaginable and won almost all of them, only eventually losing out to Stiz. For this round here for Secret, you kind of want to replicate that kind of success. You want to be able to have a better roam clear, and the garage push last time around, not really doing a whole lot. For this time, for Secret, you probably want to focus on a construction push. Take the momentum you just had on your master side clear. Don't get caught up with garage, and only really utilize it as a last-ditch attempt, because their construction push right now seems to be going much better.
Yeah. I really like the way that Secret were able to cut through cash. And, you know, if NaVi's full idea is let's kill as much time as possible, then it utterly failed. And I mean, even if you still see Secret wrestle that part of the map away from you that fast and get it alive, you know, there's still an advantage that the attackers gain from that. Unfortunately for NaVi, they lost 2 bodies in the process. So I would imagine that if Secret can replicate that success, but just on the garage side, then things will work out very well for them. I am a little interested as to why this barricade was put up. It's been broken down now for the time being. It slips through my understanding of exactly what NaVi was trying to do there.
Couldn't tell you, but there's impact tricking going on downstairs underneath the garage stairs from KS as the smoke. Very, 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 very important operator. Do I have to state that a little bit? What do you... Okay, Meepy's going to send a third set of X-Kairos as 2 of them get impacted away. I guess at the end of the day, you still have the Thermite to do the job, but wasted utility nonetheless. KS is collected, though, inside of garage. Leon tacks on with another one downstairs in the attempted flank, so NaVi set up on that one, maybe lacking a little bit of understanding, and Leon continuously pushing up the cache stairs now. And this is a big problem here for NaVi, as they have to attempt to retake the objective. Crying taking a lot of damage, but will land the lethal blow onto Meepy's head. Trying to drop down now to the bottom of the garage stairs, and Rips will take down Leon, the lone man for Secret inside of sight. Again, you're having to fight back and retake your own objective here for NaVi. It's dire straits. KS
likely could have gotten alive in that situation in garage if he had dropped Oil Pit instead of staying a little bit too long downstairs. As you saw the buck from Leon in lobby, who could have possibly grabbed him, and then you also had Fonkers situated at the door. If he had dropped, that would have made quite a monumental shift here. You noted how incredibly important the smoke is, and well, I mean, at this point, with how much, how many members of his team that he's lost, he's not going to be that important for plant denial, because it's likely going to be Secret just going kill hunting at this point. Unless they read in the fact that Rips is on site all alone, this is an opportunity for Secret to just find what little is left of Cryan, which isn't much, and Rips, and just gun through them. That's how I'd be playing it if I were Secret, but the information needs to be there. Rips right now just cannot be shaken. It's going to be a very accurate shot. Alems falls, but there's Stiz to recover. You also have Fonkers down, so this is a 1v1. If Cryan can get back to site, he can possibly shut Stiz down, but it does look like Stiz will be successful in his endeavor to get the planter off. Cryan's position might not be known. He's going to sprint and take out Fonkers, so there's some information there for Stiz. Keep in mind that Cryan will die to 1 shot from the gun of the Thermite. The Thermite of Stiz will look to bait it out as Cryan walks into the site, knows that the diffuser is down. There might be some cover, but it's out in the open, so no. Cryan will need to take the engagement. He'll bait it out, first and foremost. Great patience from Stiz. Timer at halfway. He'll push Cryan off, but Stiz will win it out. Cryan pops through the doorway. It doesn't really matter. The Thermite didn't have much that he needed to do. Any shot anywhere on the body of the Jaeger would be enough. And that's Secret closing this gap now, 2 in a row from them, and proving that maybe the attackers have the advantage in this matchup in particular. NaVi will go back down to the only site that they won, which is the Church and Arsenal room, in hopes of a better result than the last 2 rounds.
Incredible that we're seeing such a defensive struggle on Clubhouse, and also just a really weird setup last round from NaVi. Curious why KS's the smoke was downstairs inside a garage under the stairs to impact trick when you had Rips, who also had impacts, who could have done that anyway. You're losing a lot of utility regardless when that kill does come out, but I guess, I mean, at the end of the day, they still got the site control they need, and Leon was able to power through. So what's the impact trick really going to do at the end of the day? Seemed like a lot lost for quite a little gained. And NaVi, yeah, they continued to struggle. The fact that that round even came down to a 1v1 at the end is also terrifying. That Secret wasn't able to play off that momentum and continuously push in and grab the free site control they had.
It should not have been that close.
It should not have been that close at all. And so Secret struggling on the attacking side to, I guess, pick up the pick up the momentum and really play off of the kills that they are getting. They seem like they're stalling out a little bit when they do have an opening afforded to them. It's a very, very weird game back and forth between these two teams on Clubhouse, and a chasm that was separating these two teams now rests at one round. It was a 5-2 lead on the side of NaVi. The two unsuccessful defensive rounds on Clubhouse now lend us with Secret looking to battle back, possibly take the game if they can keep the overall momentum in the match going.
Yeah. This is where you start to worry, right? Because NaVi as a team are fighting for their lives.
Yup.
You have the best opportunity, and had the best opportunity that is slowly slipping away, to fight for your own place out of relegations. Now, you'd still be in it, but for the time being, NaVi's fate is still in their hands. The fate of both Secret and NaVi lie literally in their own hands. You don't find yourself in a position like Penta was or like G2 were earlier today, where you're relying on a misstep and misplay from opponents. If NaVi wins here, they get themselves out of that last spot, right? And you have to realize the amount of pressure that's sitting on them. This is a team that has been around and has, you know, when they were known as Mocket, they were in Rio as one of the top 2 teams in Europe. Through the latter half of Season 8, everybody kept saying, myself included, that, yeah, they're probably not going to win this matchup. Yeah, they're probably not going to win this matchup. On paper, they should lose it, and they kept winning. This time around, I don't know if that same run is there for them. And if they can't win this round, I think that momentum firmly falls in Secret's favor. And if I'm a fan of NaVi, I get very worried very fast. So, with that said, you've gone through half of the round, and as is typical on a church defense, every single person is going to be sitting downstairs. He's going to try to ensure that every single ex-Kairos is in a position where it can't be impact tricked. And it looks like, for the time being, KS will get away with 1 HP. It also means that the hatch will go in favor of Secret. That was bad for NaVi on both sides there, as you lose the hatch and almost one of your most important operators. You were very critical of this. Why is the smoke in this position yet again?
KS, again, seemingly being the one put into these very sacrificing positions from NaVi. A bandit trick here will not be successful, as a little premature on the bandit batteries. Stiz and Corey playing a game of back and forth on this wall. You also have the Electroclaws from Lazo, and wow, Stiz actually able to pull off the dying millisecond of that animation. Didn't actually look like he was able to on our end, but he still has an exothermic charge in the back pocket in his utility count. So, a good start here, but the stall-out factor right now for NaVi, a little immense for Team Secret to handle. Fonkers now is going to get identified on a quick peek from Rips in behind the blue generator. There's 23 seconds remaining. They have to go now. The Toxic Babes from Chaos left on 1 HP will stall this out even more. And an onslaught inside of blue, but it ends up with 3 NaVi kills. 4th one now, as it's just Fonkers last alive. And NaVi will secure the final round they need to guarantee themselves a point. The bigger thing is that Team Secret can't get 3 points and ensure the auto-relegation of NaVi.
So that means that if they draw, Secret move up to 10 points, 3 back of Mouse, and NaVi would move up to 8 points, 5 back of Mouse, which would essentially be Mouse not being auto-relegated at all, because the worst that they could do is fall to 7th if Secret has the tiebreaker over them, which I would need to dive into, given the fact that Secret pummeled them 7-2 in this half of the season. Unless the identical scoreline was held previously, it's very likely that, you know, Secret has the tiebreaker in that regard, in which case it would indeed be Mouse that would be sitting in 7th place. But that's speculation for the conclusion of this matchup. It is far from over, despite the fact that NaVi are sitting on match point. They've done so by winning Church twice, but failing to win any other site on Clubhouse. And they have to be better on either Gym or Cash if they want to put this one away. Church is not going to be available for them again. So the next 2 defenses, should NaVi need the full distance of this game to possibly win, will be on sites they haven't won. That's what gives hope if you're Team Secret. And while Gym and Bedroom didn't go so well, I would say that it might have been a bit more of a triumph, given the fact that when NaVi were defending CCTV and Cash only 2 rounds ago, it became a 1v1, not because of good setup, but because of misplays from Secret and good gun skills from NaVi. That was really it. I actually thought the setup worked better over on Gym Bedroom, but I don't play for either of these teams. I don't make these calls, and we also have a perspective that the team might not necessarily have had because, well, they only have their individual views. So with a Cash CCTV defense and NaVi's victory on the line. And also NaVi's season on the line. This is going to be a hell of a round. Last time, it was the impact tricking of KS that was able to stave off this X-Karo hard destruction, but it's going to get opened up. I think KS realized that while he was able to stop the hard destruction with those 2 impact grenades, he ultimately paid for it with his life, and it wasn't worthwhile. This is an adjustment from NaVi that could actually be significant enough to give them a much better advantage in this round.
Much better outlook here for NaVi, and you can see the drones coming in from Leon will identify the Rips as a Legion. Should be playing at the top of those cache stairs. There goes your Legion mine and a frag grenade going to be cooked. It's going to be launched towards the typical bandit trick position. It will detonate, but it won't do any damage to Corey. And they're just trying to file Corey off of that wall. He's nowhere close right now, so this thermite charge could come out from Stiz at any given moment. It wouldn't have any impediment. Still got a man inside of blue. What a shot from Leon as he rips around the corner, and Rips will fall. There goes your Legion early. You got shots coming down now from Corey, raining on to Leon, but not a single one will land. Finally, Cryan, though, off the pings, will land a shot through the lounge wall as he flexes inches down the the garage rafter stairs. Still able to collect the kill onto Leon all the same. So now Secret have to re-identify their push. They need to push out of Cryan from inside of garage. Sounds like the wall did get opened up on the side of Secret. Just unsure. It might not have actually. No, they were unable to get the wall open either. Even in the midst of that chaos, Corey able to bandit trick long enough that it scares Secret onto a full rotation to construction.
Cryan flexing. I hope that was a pun. I really do. I wanted to weigh in, but you were in a good groove, so I didn't want to jump right in. But if there's anybody who's flexing, yeah, it's probably Cryan. That guy's mad jacked.
Pretty effing built, yeah.
So, with Secret just standing pat for the time being, NaVi has 45 seconds to claim a massive victory over their foe down in the relegation spot and move Secret into that feared 8th position. You can still hear the active bandit tricking as Secret are right now just stalling out. They're treading water, and they need to be able to gain some ground quickly. Perfect timing for a toxic canister to go down at 30 seconds, and you have to imagine that the advance will come. But actually, it looks like the impact trick will miss, which will force KS to fall back. Not able to do his job to stop the Thermite's entrance. NaVi are completely listed over on the south side of the building, just waiting for somebody to jump on in, and there you go. There's Corey and Cryan, with Corey grabbing another. Meepy's last alive, but KS shutting the door, and NaVi a huge victory. They'll jump out of that last spot in EU Pro League with one more week to go. This is gonna get messy. Secret falling down into the auto relegation spot. What a performance from NaVi when they needed it the most. Congratulations to NaVi for getting out of that last spot. Next week is going to get tough. Secret will play Chaos and NaVi will play G2, where presumably the team that loses that matchup, or if they both lose, or if they both win,